Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with Imperial Destroyer. Last time around I thought the Danish would attack me, but instead they went for burning yet another town. Luckily they actually didn't burn the other school town, so I've relocated my gentleman over there. This fellow is a manufacturer owner, and this one is something of a blade, so he's really good with cutting people up. Right. However, on the other side of the Baltic, we have the Russians, and they have laid siege to both my towns, exactly like I wanted them to, because I will be able to attack out from there with superior number, boosted by the garrison militia. And I should be victorious in both battles. I'm also moving the fleet over here because I'm picking up the secondary general, Irbil, and I'm gonna move him over to Sweden, there where he can launch our Norwegian campaign, hopefully after we defeat these guys. Still have a problem with the money, and so first thing first after defeating this is making sure that we open up this port. For some reason all my trade is still only going to this port, when I have one trade port over here, and I mean I have a port over here as well, so I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't go to the trade port and it still goes to the shipyard in Malmö. So I'm not gaining about that 1000 gold or something I would gain from trade with Great Britain and whoever else, France. I probably should have more trade openings, but as it is, I don't really have that many ports anymore. I really only have one open. With that said, let's jump into the battles. We're gonna start off with the one in Irbil, and let's go ahead and attack here. So on paper, we almost have twice as many troops. The enemy, however, has cannons. They have a full infantry regiment. Does that only have... Oh, it's a militia regiment. That changes a lot of things. They do have a general though, so that should give them a boost in morale compared to our men. They only... Oh, the Russian Streltsy. And the militia only have 4 in morale, compared to 7 for my line infantry and 4 for my militia. Should be rather easy, hopefully. And yes, let's go straight into the battle, shall we? Right, and so here we have the battle deployment. I've put the militia up front to make way for the infantry to follow up. And yeah, let's go ahead and start this, shall we? Get moving. And let's see, both the cannons have limbered the guns, and they're moving them. They're about to move them anyways, which I don't see the point of. It only gonna make it easier for us, because now we're not actually advancing under fire. Let's speed up then and strike the enemy. I'm gonna send the infantry over to this side and let the militia attack from the front. Now the militia, I'm gonna spread them out as much as possible because only first line fires. I'm gonna line them up correctly as well, so we have we get them in line properly. And with that, we'll advance. Line infantry, the normal line infantry, moving up in column, ready to attack the flank. And we're just within range, and the battle starts there. This regiment does not everyone fires, so I'm gonna move them up. And this one I'm actually gonna move up as well. But with that, we're not going to move those guys anymore. We're going to focus on the line infantry now coming in from the forest. I'm going to tell them to hold fire, and we're going to fire once we get really close to the enemy. So there's a lot of fire going down on both sides here, but not very many casualties on either side. Well, at least the enemy is actually inflicting more casualty on us than we are on them. But that's about it. Alright, let's see. The big line infantry regiment. We should move real close. And with the smaller one as well. And once these guys are in position, since the cannon is right there, I don't want these guys to focus in on the cannon. So I'm gonna order them to attack the militia regiment right ahead of them, to make sure that they don't start shooting at the cannon. They're gonna pull shots through there though, so we'll kill cannon as well. What a response! They were very unusually responsive. I'm gonna tell this one to fire at will. And I'm gonna tell these guys to reload, and then we're gonna prepare to do another volley again into this regiment, which is at the current just holding its position. Oh, this is the cannon. I thought it was possibly the Strelts that were possibly giving up. Right, we're ready. Right, give them another go. Another nice volley, and we can see that the Russian militia regiment is broken and is pulling back, which means that these two will move in. Ooh, are they gonna go ahead? Yes, they're going to attack. Form square. Hold your fire, and then prepare to advance on the Strelts. The Streltsky. Right. You're ready and reloaded? It goes rather quickly to reload. I can see it goes very quickly, so it probably would have been nicer, or it would have been at least easier to do the kind of Swedish tactic of marching up and firing close if the reload rate had not been so quick. Let's see if I can join in here. Right, rapid advancement. And as soon as you're in the flank, oh, the turning. Prepare yourself. Pretty sure we'll be able to fire first. Go on, fire then. Oh, are you gonna... Once again, you guys disappoint me. Luckily though, the accuracy of this old Strelts is so worthless that it didn't actually force that many casualties on our men. And the enemy's pulling off. Right, this regiment will pull back, then come back towards the hill, while these two pull up to fill the gap right here. And the square is holding. It's not firing though. There's one guy there reloading, so I imagine they're waiting for those 1, 2, 4 guys to get ready. Crazy general charges straight into the square. And he dies as a result of that. Okay, these guys don't actually... they don't actually have the range to fire. The enemy is broken, so it's only the general staff. I believe we've won the battle and broken the enemy. You could... Let's see if they want to fire at the... Nope, the enemy, I guess, disappeared in the angle in which we weren't able to fire. There we have it anyways. We're probably gonna have to face these guys again, but this time without the cannons, since we basically killed those. So back to the campaign map, shall we? And here we have the statistics of the battle. I'm not that interested in how many the garrison lost. I'm only interested in the line infantry, so they lost less than 100 men, which is very good. That's a fifth then is line infantry. The garrison will of course replenish, so that's no problem. The enemy has 244 men left. And hopefully none of those are cannons. It looked like it was 3 units though. So, oh, it's the general's bodyguard, the strelts, and the militia. So they are still there. It would be nice if you could, like in Shogun, so I could run up the ship and bombard them when they're that close. Right, so now it's time to defeat these guys. Push them off the city. The enemy has a lot of cannons. They have those very dangerous cavalry. They're not that good though. 7, 9, and 5. I don't know. This is not the same cavalry. They were called Nogi something cavalry. This is Bashkir cavalry. So that's different. So our cavalry is superior to these guys. Right, and they have line infantry regiments. Then it's kind of hard to see the there's not that much different between the line infantry of the Russians and the Russian militia, more than they have a bit higher morale. We outnumber the enemy. They have more cannons though. They have, well, no, what they have is they have pretty good cannons, so they match us in the cannons, and they have good horsemen. They have a lot of them, so we're gonna have to take a quite defensive stance against the enemy. And yeah, we'll see how this one goes. So without further ado, let's once more defend St. Petersburg. Not entirely sure why it always rains so badly when I'm defending at St. Petersburg. I mean, it's always raining, it seems. We're gonna move up the militia garrison regiments first. So they'll take most of the fire, trying to protect my line infantry unit as much as possible. Pikemen, there are only 96 of them, so I don't think they'll be any use, so we'll move them in there. And we'll use the cavalry on the flank. Mostly we're gonna rely on our artillery, which I've placed next to this house. We got 2 units right there bombarding the enemy, and then I've this one right here, which I had to move up a bit to be able to not only just to reach the enemy, but also to fire above that little hill that was otherwise covering the view of the cannon. So really worried about those big cavalry units, because they could smash through everything. And it seems like the cannons are really firing at extreme range. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that much damage. And then all this bloody rain as well. Now the rain isn't that much of a problem, because there's no stamina in the game for some reason. I probably should have seen about if there was a submod that actually added in that, or if there was an easy way to add that on. But there really wasn't. Or at least not what I could see. We're going to advance, but it's going to be a slow advance, and we're going to try to hold our formation for as long as possible and just try to inflict a little bit of damage on the enemy. Or at least the cannons, which I'm aiming for. And then we'll have to protect like hell against enemy cavalry charges. The enemy has more than 300-400 men cavalry, which is a lot given that our army is about 1,000 men. Or no, it wasn't, given that we got these 2 regiments, but how good are these 2 militia regiments? Right, so we're actually kind of at extreme range to fire at these guys. So I'm gonna halt the lines and we are opening fire. I'm pretty sure we just shot friendlies there in the back. Take these two regiments out on the flank and these 3 out on the flank here, because otherwise... Holy shit, I did not see that. The enemy cavalry, somehow I missed that. Covered by the very thick rain, the enemy cavalry unit was able to go directly into my line infantry, or is into that infantry unit, and we're gonna form square all over the place to protect. They just were able to push straight through the militia garrison regiment. Holy shit, that came such a surprise. I did not see that at all. I'm not entirely sure if forming into square was such a good idea. The militia, I'm actually going to pull them forwards, because that will not save them at all. I'm not entirely sure why the squares are not firing. And my cavalry units are getting killed as well. My men are firing on the enemy cavalry. Focusing on that cavalry. Oh, the square is firing a little bit. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a little bit too late for my cavalry, which, as at a current, is being killed off. Drop the square. Ooh, I was about to sneeze there. Move into line, and ooh, if I pull off the cavalry, I'm pretty sure they're going to retreat. Okay, drop this square. You need to help this square, which seems to be breaking apart under enemy cavalry attack. At least one cavalry unit is still with us. Holy shit, that rain just screwed me over big time. Ah no, this regiment's about to fall. I'll tell them to form square again. This one could help, but I mean, there's so much cavalry over there. You know what? Rather than facing the front line, face this one. This one is much more important that we defeat. And then these two will advance the best they can towards this line infantry regiment. Oh shit, the enemy is attacking. Form square. And then you will form line to protect the square. And I'll actually pull this one back a bit because he's getting shredded by the enemy line infantry regiment. Okay guys, I need you to open fire here. Our army is falling apart. Come on, fire at will, get those guys. Hold the square, whatever you do, hold the bloody square. Nice. Close quarters firing, and we've destroyed the enemy regiment. We're actually pulling that Russian regiment with us as we retreat. So we're going to retreat again. And then we're going to have these two move up and fire into them in the flank. Right now they're taking flank fire from these two line of regiments as these guys are chasing, trying to chase after this guy. Okay, we have to advance and see about getting some good shots into this guy. And I want the artillery to focus in on him as well. Most of the enemy cavalry, they still have one full regiment of horse hiding back here. If there could be a possibility, you know what, we're gonna pull these guys even further back and hopefully drag these guys into the crossfire. Yes, they're actually following after these guys. Okay, now they've stopped following and we'll start firing down here instead. So you might as well move forwards. Open up instead on this Horse unit. This unit's taking quite a bit of beating. I'm gonna pull them back. Same with this one. Hopefully drag these guys with us. And open up for these guys to go in hella close. Gonna move them back. Cavalry is gonna go around and see about getting those cannon units. Okay, this unit's getting hit hard. I'm gonna pull him back. I'm gonna get this general to come up and see about helping. Not really a great way to fire here from the forest. If I can get in from a side there, I could probably get the cannon. What are they doing? They're moving to face something else. While they're moving, we will move as well. Oh, these guys retreated under pressure of God knows what. Nothing, apparently. Come on, guys. You've got great targets now. And the cannons got even greater target. See if you can hit the second cannon as well. Okay, the second regiment's moving up. And it's hitting these guys. And hitting them badly. Pull back. Pretty sure these guys are in range of that one, so I'm gonna pull these guys back. Ooh, took a heavy hit. Okay, we need to stop these guys from firing. Oh, we kind of broke them. We have one chance to get this done. All regiments forward. The cavalry regiment, it will be sacrificed. You know what? Get this general up here. And then we'll sacrifice the cavalry in the hopes that the infantry regiments will be able to lay in enough fire on that Russian infantry to break them. Okay, enemy horsemen moving up. Going in for the center. Form square. Attack. Get the general in. Drop the squares and advance further. Ooh, the general charge might have been just what was needed to break that regiment. Brave general. Give the Russians everything we've got. Everything we've got left, I should say. We have a small body of cannon crew firing from inside the forest. And we have this single cavalry regiment that we have to deal with now. Brave charge there by the general, and just in time to break that infantry regiment. But I definitely don't want these guys to return. So I'm gonna order the general to follow them, while the infantry regiments follow these this cavalry unit. What's that? The enemy general was killed? Pretty sure it was among the horsemen then. Keep chasing their horsemen. We still have 93 enemy horsemen. And we they still have some cannon crew firing at us. Well, the cannons are out of range, so they might as well hold fire just in case they don't accidentally kill one of our men. Ooh. Hold and fire, damn you. Right, they're coming in from the flank. Form square. Form line. Form line like that. Push up, form line there. Where's the general? He's keep killing these guys, which is good. Drop the square. Right, how long do we need to chase these guys? There we have it. The enemy cavalry was finally broken and pushed off the field. Victory is ours, but at a heavy cost. Bloody battles that keep on being bloody. We lost a ton of men, but so did the Russians. And, well, the good thing is that the town stands. The bad thing, of course, is that the Russians got another full stack on the way, and I'm not entirely sure I will be able to replenish this army. So we might once more have to abandon this, or at least possibly move big parts of it over to Finland to protect the fort over there. Let's go ahead and end the battle and see what the statistics of the battle was. And here we have the statistics of the battle. We can see that we lost 800 men, leaving only about 900 men left to defend the city. And the enemy lost everything but 255, which probably is enough for them to actually exist as an army unit. Highest kill is line infantry. The general, which, I mean, he's performed perfectly, managed to kill 138 enemies. I'm not entirely sure how many of those were in the actual charge he did. Probably about maybe 40 or something like that, or maybe 30 to actually cause the enemy to break apart. But yes, this was a good battle. We managed to hold on to the city and we forced the enemy away. Now this is main concern, and I'm pretty sure they're also aiming for Finland, so they're gonna go through here just the same as the other one. And then this army right here. Now I've spotted the fact that the enemy is actually already building up a new force over here, so even more militia is on the way, and we're running out of money and no one is really ready to sign any peace with us, which is not good at all. I was hoping, since I lost border with Poland, Lithuania, that I would be able to sign a peace with them, but no, that is not happening. I mean, look at the Prussians. The Prussians got tons of troops everywhere. What we might have to do is, I've currently been recruiting a lot of line infantry. We might have to go for the much... they're not that much cheaper actually. And they're so shit in comparisons with the line infantry that probably better to actually go for the line infantry. But one thing that I noticed back in Stockholm is that the cannons here... Let's see, the cannons, the upkeep is high, but the recruitment cost is low. Mortars, same for them as well. So not actually a good substitute. I thought maybe because the recruitment cost was so low, but there we have it. Next video will be the defense of Stockholm, most likely, and then we'll see where this army is supposed to move. Hopefully we'll have... I mean, there looks like there's another rebellion on the way, which I can only stop by exempting them from tax. which doesn't actually hurt my income that much. So we're gonna do that because the one more rebellion would probably break the army to the point where, I mean, at this point we lost one of the cavalry units, the militia cavalry unit. So it's not going well. I mean, I'm winning battles and stuff, but in the grand strategy of things, I'm slowly retracting. We've lost land, we haven't gained anything, so... I mean, if we go back to beginning, attacking here was a stupendously big mistake. I mean, this was probably the biggest mistake I made, because the Prussians were able to come in and destroy us. That wasn't good, and really that fucked everything up for us, really. Because I mean, how much have I fought the Prussians, and how much has that cost me? Especially in the fact that the Prussians are controlling my port, which stopping a large amount of income to my state. So the one crucial mistake I made was to attack there. I mean, I think even in the episode I talk about the possibility of the worst case scenario, Prussia attacks, and Prussia did attack, and Prussia has been attacking ever since. Prussia is building up a surprisingly large navy. Prussia has got really good infantry. So yeah, it's not going good. But hopefully I'll be able to turn that around. That tattered flag will once more glow in gold in a regal blue. But not right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!